Everybody, welcome back to another episode of Hop Takes. As always, I'm Josh.
And I'm Ross.
And we've got a quick hitter for you tonight. Both Ross and I have the same beer, and we are heading back to a brewery that we reviewed some stuff from all the way back in, I think, February of last year.
February sounds about right.
And it's now February of 2022. So almost a year later, we are heading back to Oliphant Brewing. Now, they are based out of, where are they based out of again, Ross?
Somerset, Wisconsin.
Somerset, that's right. So I can't read cans. We figured out as we were prepping for this video, I don't know how to read the word bourbon. I don't understand anything about how to read cans. So English is hard and reading is difficult. So we're going to jump right into this thing. So we got a chance to review a beer from them called Honees Honees last year, which is essentially a peanut butter and honey golden ale. It was pretty decent. I think we reviewed it pretty well. We thought it was pretty good. Just recently, though, they released a bourbon barrel-aged version of their Honees Honees. So it's in this fancy little gold can with the peel-off label. So this thing is a bourbon barrel-aged version of that same Honees Honees. So a peanut butter and honey golden ale aged in bourbon barrels. Doesn't say how long.
So this,
unless it's on
this is actually in collaboration. Huh?
Doesn't say how long it was aged, unless that's on the can somewhere. Ross, can you read?
I haven't seen it.
Okay.
So this is actually done in collaboration with 45th Parallel Distillery. That's in New Richmond, Wisconsin. So it's pretty cool. That's obviously where they got their bourbon barrels and everything. And that's New Richmond. I looked at it earlier, and I kind of forgot. I think it's like right on the border of Minnesota and Wisconsin, which is why you see the labeling with the logo. That's the 45th Distillery on the can that you see. This one comes in for a bourbon barrel beer. We were kind of talking beforehand, coming in at 6.6%. So it's relatively low on like the scale of where you think a barrel-aged beer would come in, but it's not a stout. It's not like something that probably was aged very long. Maybe just did that for more of the taste notes and everything. So
most likely. All right. Well, let's pour this thing out. I'm expecting kind of a darker amber golden ale. Yeah.
Pretty much what you expect. I mean,
it's kind of got that darker golden color to it. Definitely not. It's definitely more of like a caramel golden color, so closer to like an amber, or a dark wheat, something like that.
Yeah,
lots of carbonation. Yeah, I was gonna say lots of carbonation bubbles in this. Not much head, although it was a pretty light pour. I think there was probably about a finger at one point.
Yeah, I got about a finger on mine, so.
Yeah. To the nose we go. Ooh. I actually get bourbon right up front.
I'm definitely getting some honey in there.
There's like a thick honey like sweetness scent because like honey adds sweetness to the beer. So like there's like a thick honey scent behind that bourbon too.
You're a dick.
I really am.
Between the bourbon and then there's a lot of multi characteristics coming through that I'm getting, which I think with the honey making, it's adding that kind of like nice like sweetness to it on the nose. So
it is.
It's definitely multi is what I'm getting.
It's full. Like the nose is actually really solid on this. Like the bourbon characters aren't like super poppy, but they're for sure there. And there's that honey sweetness. I'm not really getting much peanut butter on the nose. But I'm not sure that you'd get much of it on the nose through those two scents.
I'm not getting much. And I don't remember. Oh, yeah, I remember we enjoyed it. I don't remember much about when we had this last year, like what we were getting on the taste notes and everything. So
I remember I did not appreciate the nose on it when we tried it last time. This nose is pretty darn good, though. So let's give this thing a shot.
Cheers.
Cheers. Ooh. Whoa.
So definitely getting a lot more peanut butter in the palate. The honey is there, but it's more faint. I think you're getting more of that on the nose. Definitely get the peanut butter for me on the palate, and that maltiness kind of adds that nice kind of full body to this one.
I think The mouthfeel on this, it's definitely it's thicker than a traditional like golden ale would be. I think the honey characteristics to this beer really kind of add like a depth to it, almost like a viscosity a little bit to the beer. Like it's thicker, a little bit more of a syrup character to the mouthfeel on it. Surprisingly, the carbonation, as much as you could see it in the in the glass here, doesn't impact the mouthfeel of this too heavily. Like I'm not getting a ton of carbonation on it.
No, it's pretty smooth. It's to your point though, the mouthfeel. It's a thick, full-bodied beer. Like it lingers, it sticks there. It doesn't dissipate right away. I mean, it's a filling beer for being a golden ale.
Yeah, for sure. It's kind of interesting too. Like the front end of this beer, I feel like you get a little bit of bourbon and then the honey characteristics, and then I get some of the peanut butter that follows it, but then out the back end, the bourbon actually really kicks up, and I get kind of like a sweet bourbon character. I think that's probably a mix of the honey and the bourbon, but that's what kind of lingers. Like the peanut butter kind of disappears, or that component to this disappears, and out the back end, it's mostly bourbon and honey, which is actually really freaking good. Like that's fantastic.
Yeah, it's tasty. I think you did a good job. I think they hit all the taste notes on this one.
I don't know if did we say the ABV on this?
Maybe, but
I mean, it's only 6.6%. So that's pretty low for a bourbon barrel-aged beer of any kind. I think you did. I think you'd mentioned it. I couldn't remember. But this is like super drinkable and super full-flavored, and it's got a ton of great characteristics going on in this for only being a 6.6% beer.
And I'll say this just kind of like closing my thoughts on like to your point, it's a drinkable beer in the sense that it's got a lot of flavor to it. But it's filling. Like I can't imagine having like 2 or 3 of these in a night. Like this is kind of like, in my opinion, not on the taste at all, but just on the mouthfeel and the fillingness. This is kind of a one and done for me, and it's a really good one and done. Mm-hmm. I can't see myself having more than one of these in a night.
Yeah. That's super unique though.
Yeah.
Yeah. On Untappd, where would you put something like this?
Starting with this one a bit. It's really well made beer. I think on the quality, it's all there. But just from a kind of a personal preference, there's some things I'm just not a huge fan of, just from a personal standpoint. So I'm going to put this at about 3.5. Okay. I think if this is your style, it gets a better score. Personally, it's just for me, it's a 3.5.
For me, uniqueness alone and just how quality this beer is, I'm going up to 4.25.
Oh, okay.
I really like this. Like this is way better than I remember Honees Honees being, like the original. Now I haven't had it in a year, so I can't really recall, but this is really solid. I love the bourbon characteristics. The honey is a nice adjunct in this. It really plays nicely with this style of beer and that bourbon. And then the peanut butter characteristics to it are subtle, but are definitely there. Just a really unique, interesting beer that I really enjoy. I think it's really good.
Yeah, I'd strongly recommend it. I mean, to anyone trying, especially looking for something different, especially this time of year, as you and I know, we both fall into that like bourbon barrel stout trap, and we have a hard time getting out of that. This is a really nice change of pace, but at the same time, it's not overly hoppy or anything where it's like, oh, I should be drinking this summer. Like this is a good wintertime beer. It's a nice change of pace from what you normally see around this time of year. So,
yeah. Really good stuff. Check out Oliphant Brewing Company. Great stuff out of Somerset, Wisconsin. Another great one from them. Looking forward to trying even more as they continue to put good stuff out into the beer community here in the States. So stay tuned. Lots more Hop Takes episodes where this came from. This was a quick hitter, so stay tuned for more as we put out more content on the channel. Thanks for watching, everybody.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.